money for it though.
No, I didn't.
Like a freight train.
Well, I heard the Board of Elections like
That's theirs. Regional planning paid for our own.
I'll call this meeting of Sunny County Commissioners to order for Tuesday, October, what are we, 31st? 30th.
Rush Halloween.
Please join me in the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, please join me in a short prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask that you give us the wisdom to do what is in the best interest of those we serve. We also ask you to intervene in the hearts of those who do violence on others, no matter what side it is. We ask you to temper this sense that we seem to have across the country lately. We ask that you watch in a special way those who are protecting our freedoms and their families. We ask all this through your Son. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Okay, I'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio video recording of the meeting October 16th.
So moved.
I will second. They are approved. The first thing that we will do is we have a proclamation here from the Board of Sunny County Commissioners to the Franciscan Earth Literacy Center and AmeriCorps' NCC partnership in appreciation for Sunny County work completed. I think Ann Keefe is here.
Yes, sir.
Representing Francis. So if you want to come forward, please, and you're welcome to bring those that are with you. Andrea, if you want to take pictures, whatever you need to do, why don't you guys come all around here so we can get a nice picture. Oh, okay, sure. And?
I'm walking to my trailer.
Yourself and then the folks that are with us, please.
Sure. So I'm Ann Keefe. I'm with the St. Francis Community, Sisters of St. Francis. I do the grant writing for the campus out there. And so one of the grants that we wrote was in partnership with the AmeriCorps program. And so I have 3 representatives from the AmeriCorps team here. Mina, do you want to just say a second about the AmeriCorps, just brief,
Yeah.
what you're about?
So AmeriCorps, our program is for 18 to 24-year-olds. It's a 10-month commitment in which we serve in different states throughout the U.S. I'm serving with nonprofit organizations, government programs, and other programs, nature conservation, energy renewal, and different types of work that we do.
So the team helped with the Franciscan Earth Literacy Center, doing lots of outdoor classrooms, outdoor signage, trails work, invasive species removal. And then we also had the crew work with the Seneca County Parks as well as the City of Tiffin Parks and help do the river cleanup and multiple other projects. They were based out of USA Campfire Camp Glen, who gave us discounted housing to house the team. So we had a great partnership with them, and we thank them for their work here.
Well, perfect. I have a proclamation from the Sunny County Board of Commissioners. Whereas the Franciscan Earth Literacy Center is a hands-on environmental education and demonstration center providing year-round classes, field trips, camps that promote nature appreciation and encourage sustainable living practices. The center is located on the grounds of St. Francis of Tiffin and serves Northwest Ohio students of all abilities. FELC serves over 4,500 students and adult learners yearly. But also, whereas AmeriCorps, National Civilian Community Corps, is a federal team-based national service program for young adults between the ages of 18 and 24. And their mission is that AmeriCorps, NCCC, and its FEMA corporations unit engage up to 2,800 young Americans in a full-time 10-month commitment to service each year, and thank you folks for that. We appreciate it. FELC was awarded an AmeriCorps National Civilian Community Corps federal grant, which provided a team of 7 young adults to assist with conservation education work in Seneca County for the last 7 weeks. And they were invited, the Seneca County Park District and the Tiffin Parks and Recreation Department and Campfire USA Camp Glen to join this partnership. Many grants came together, including the Messier Frost Fund, the White Family Charitable Fund of Tiffin Community Foundation, and the Ottawa-Sandusky County Joint Solid Waste District competitive grant to purchase supplies or equipment to be installed. Now, therefore, be it resolved, this Board of Seneca County Commissioners, on behalf of the citizens of our county, hereby recognizes and appreciates the federal, state, national, city, and private partnerships that came together as a district of the result of Franciscan Earth Literacy Center and AmeriCorps' National Civilian Community Corps. This partnership has improved and directly impacted many of our recreational and youth outdoor educational activities here. Thanks to all the partners involved for your service to Seneca County. And this is signed by all three commissioners on this 30th day of October 2018. So thank you very much for your service, folks. and
Thank you.
Anybody need anything else?
Any other pictures?
Might as well have you guys pose for one.
Did you need a group picture?
Yeah, do you guys want to pose for one all together really
Sure.
quick? Might as well grab one. Awesome. All right, all ready? Awesome. Thanks so much for your work and thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We need to sign that, folks, before we take it, so.
Oh,
I mean it.
we sign on the day we do it.
Oh, yeah, that's missing
In your best A+ handwriting.
Yes, that's better.
Yeah, and you do not need to feel
Yeah, no
obligated
need
to
to-
stay. You can go whenever you choose to want to depart, that's fine.
Yes, you're welcome to stay.
Go out there.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
for having
Thank you.
us. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, in respect for time, I think that David Zach is here. Did I see him?
I am.
Yeah. You have something to share with us?
I did.
Zach?
So in advance of this meeting a few weeks ago, I sent a revised draft, having interacted with you all and knowing that you had an accelerated budgeting cycle. So I wanted to get a revised draft following the meeting in Fostoria several months ago. I had gotten a lot of feedback from each of you individually at that meeting and then also subsequent to that meeting. And I endeavored to put that into a revised and much more detailed contract that I hoped would satisfy the different requests, interests, and desires of the commission with respect to what we do as an organization, kind of extend and expand our operations, so to speak, our ability to assist economic development throughout rural Seneca County, in addition to the other things that we do. One of the ideas that was presented in Fostoria was the potential injection of additional resources. President Kirchner, you had suggested the development of what I have in the contract put as a rural development manager, similar to our downtown Tiffin Main Street manager. And so the contract reflects what I heard from each of you, and I try to do that. At this point, I can entertain questions or go through it. So I would ask what your pleasure would be at this point as we continue to work towards, hopefully, to get something that you would find attractive and exciting. And we are excited about the opportunity to do even more good than we've been able to do heretofore.
I know I have a few questions on a couple of different parts or points to bring up,
Sure,
so maybe I just
sure.
share those and we can keep.
And
the
I'm going to record them. I may
discussions
not have all the answers for you, but I'll.
going. Oh, no, that's fine, that's fine. It's just things that came to mind when I went.
Sure,
when I went
absolutely.
through it.
This is a process, so please.
As well as I know, I think something we as a board have to discuss is Fostoria, which Renee's here, hi Ren. Had some thoughts with us. They came over with members of their board and discussed interests and things that they foresee, budgetary needs She shared with us about a couple months back as well. So I think there's some things there that we'll probably want to have discussion about all of it, because I think it's all nothing but good for the county as a whole. Under the rural development manager part, just that, and maybe since the inception of this is minor, but we have our county PR person, so that, you know, the PR stuff, we'd want to tie that person in and maybe figure out that balance.
Makes perfect sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a part under the commercial and industrial retention and expansion that I didn't know if it should be, when you talk about the limits of confidentiality, is there a route there that maybe the president of the Board of Commissioners could be informed or part of some of that? I know sometimes we feel like, and I get it, I get the confidentiality piece, I've signed those myself in the past, but there's been projects I've been involved with that I've signed the waiver, so we still maintain the confidentiality, I don't pass it on to the whole board, and that was when I was, you know, involved in a project, so that was just a thought, if that's a way. Under the infrastructure and site development.
Let me just insert one thing there.
yeah.
I read that too, have some questions, but I believe that a member of this board is by charter or by necessity, a member of the executive committee board of
That is
site.
correct,
Okay.
by our code of regulations.
And therefore, that person would be aware of each project by name, as opposed to, you know.
And that is in here too, saying about that equipment that we've had,
Yeah.
that somebody's
So
a member of the board.
whoever the commissioner
They would know.
representative with the
Okay.
board would know that, yeah.
Okay.
Because I share your concern about that.
Okay.
You're-
So that kind of gets taken care of with board representation. Under infrastructure and site development, I just had reference, maybe we need reference to the, what will be complete here soon, the comprehensive plan, because there's reference to what's the best, you know, areas for site development, et cetera, so I would just want to
Sure.
allude to the
Makes perfect sense,
comprehensive.
Holly. Yep,
Comprehensive plan
we'll
on
get
that.
that included, huh?
Under the incentives and resources, I had in the side margin, it probably comes in other places, is where is the balance, and/or do we look to what we have with Fostoria Economic Development potentially as well? Again, they'd have their own contract, would not be your contract, but I just wonder how we mix in the acknowledgement of the two economic development groups that serve us. Does there need to be a mention of that? Again, they'd have their own contract as if we had one with them,
I can work on some.
something there. You know, I didn't know if depending on the amount of work required, fees for administration such as be paid under terms of a separate agreement, if that is including, that would be monies included in, if the grant administration and/or loan administration allowed administrative type fees, or if that's just things that would be up in addition. I just wanted to verify what that meant, and we don't have to do that now, but that's came to mind.
Yeah, I mean,
when
I
read
think
that.
the intent, and maybe it's, you know, the intent is that if there's a huge program that involves a lot of additional administration, it wouldn't automatically be assumed that we would just take that on. A perfect example is we recently ran the Downtown Tiffin Community Development Block Grant, competitive grant. We brought in $300,000. It didn't really have a lot of administration with it, the typical allocation did, and the amount of time and effort required. So it's something that we would have wanted to evaluate. So I think it's our way of saying, if there's some big new thing that comes along, we'd want to talk about that. It could very well be included.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, if there's a better way to word that, we're certainly open to that. That's the intent.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all the intent of this.
There really wasn't anything else. I had underlined under 4 there, when contracted to do so, but again, I get that now. That was, again, first reaction. I kind of
Okay.
hit the things I saw. I think there's a typo there. It says for the city. I think that is a typo. And
Where is that, so I can make sure?
Under number
I did,
4.
what is it called, find and replace in the initial draft?
Incentives and resources.
Okay, I'll make sure that gets
E, number
corrected.
4.
Okay, I'll get that corrected, tag you.
And then I guess obviously the discussion to happen about the dollar value here once things are all figured out.
Okay.
And that's kind of takes care of it. nuts and bolts of it for now is, again, my reactions to things.
Okay, and I'll work up.
Well, yeah, one of my thoughts is, I think this will probably foster further collaboration with FEDC and TSEP. And by that I mean, if we're asking for a representative for the townships, you know, those townships like Loudon, Hopewell, and Jackson, they feel more comfortable with having the conversations with Astoria as it directly relates to their abutment to the city, as opposed to, let's say, Clinton and Scipio, those kind of things that are more Tiffin oriented. So I would just ask that there be something included that talks about the cooperation between FEDC and TSEP
Sure.
as it relates to a rural representative, if there ends up to be one.
Yep.
And, you know, the cooperation that's happening between Fostoria and Tiffin as well.
That's always been happy to do that,
Yeah.
and as Renee and her board will attest, you know, one of the changes I made when I came in was to be an active officio member of the board, and have been regularly going to the FEDC.
Yeah, I know
meetings
you guys
and-
work fine.
Yeah, no, I just, for
I think
the sake of the public, yeah, and I'm,
Just
wasn't
reduces
just, I just
writing
wanted to
so
say,
that we all-
absolutely, that I want nothing more than that,
So
so.
if you guys are in office forever, but, you know, things change and we.
No, I
Refer to,
will take both of those and work up something to try to accommodate the spirit of what you're saying, which is what we're trying to do. Yep.
I know you both, not necessarily, not related to a contract, or a drafter contract, but have positions open. How is that going in terms of attraction of folks? I mean, you don't have to say much about it. We don't need numbers. I'm just curious.
Oh, we received 38 applications, 2 of those withdrawn, so we were with a net 36. We have blocked out, we're gonna interview 14, 7 of which were like really, and you know, felt really good about, and then 7, I tend to take more time. It's just, some people would say, you know, it's better ways to invest the time. Everybody's got a personal style and
Sure.
preference, so we blocked it out for the next 2 weeks. We'll be doing interviews. My intention is to narrow that, 1, 2, or 3 candidates, and work with the board and potential other stakeholders to kind of have people meet them and then get feedback. Because as with everything, whether it's FEDC or Regional Planning Commission or any of our partners, we want them to be successful. We did this with our downtown manager, you recall, so I plan on doing the same thing with this position. Bryce was kind of an anomaly, so we had him as an intern and promoted him internally, but that's the intention with this. So in terms of nailing down timeframes, if we get that done by the end of, you know, within the next 2 weeks, and you figure another 2 weeks to vet and hopefully come to terms, and by the time that person, he or she has 2 weeks to notify, we're talking, you know, it would be ideal to have somebody that could, at the very latest, start at the beginning of the year. That would be my intention.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is we review this contract as something positive. We review the covenants in the contract as positive items that we can clarify and understand exactly what the mission is for as it relates to the county.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're gonna get some type of positive result. We'll see what that is when we get it narrowed down.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's, you know, it's a work session or I think we'll need to get back when we're all available, but I know with Renee as well, you know, the discussions and
Right.
figure it all out. Renee, how's your posting going?
We had 31 resumes come in. We've narrowed it down to 6 that we're bringing in for initial interviews, hoping to narrow it down to 3. Then we'll get the board involved. And like David said, our goal is to get someone hired by the end of the year, have them start by the first of the year with the holidays and everything. It's gonna be dicey,
Yeah.
but the goal is the first of the year.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, great, good update.
Okay, it's a good time to have the economic development degree these days, right? All kinds of jobs.
It's
openings.
fun to be in Tiffin and Seneca County and Astoria, and I think all of our organizations are having fun.
Good.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else, Dave?
No, sir.
All right, let's talk about any adjustments we might have here before we get into it. No? Okay. Budgets is the first thing on the old business.
Yep, just wanted to, just give you a quick update. I've got everyone's budget except one put in a call today, so hopefully we'll get that budget in soon, but everybody else has sent theirs in. I tried to, make sure I sent you anybody that's asking for a little bit above the normal. They've done letters and details, and I've sent those to you for you to review. Hopefully we can talk a little bit more about them, next week in a little bit more detail. Just wanted to.
Are you having any luck with capital items?
Yep, John and I have been making a list. We're gonna get together on Thursday, to try to narrow down that list to give you guys some sort of a better capital budget. And this is just items that we know and we see outside of what, we're not touching the master plan or anything like those. We're just the buildings and the equipment that John knows that we need, so we'll get that ready for next week. Might not have accurate prices, but we'll have some sort of estimates, because we obviously don't have an engineer on some of these projects, so. I did send you just a rough estimate on increases. I have had a lot of departments, elected officials ask about increases. Didn't know if you guys had any thought about that at all yet.
I mean, other than looked at what it cost us, just a matter of how overall, again, what all the budget stuff comes out to be and what we think we can get certified.
And I think Budget Commission is meeting next Tuesday, and we've asked them to see if they could certify something by Tuesday. I think Julie had asked all revenues to be in by today, so hopefully they'll be ready by next week, and then we'll have a better handle. Right now, I've got, like I said, one department missing, and I'm sitting just under 17, so.
Are you putting some number in as just a stand-in number for raises?
Some departments went ahead and put it in, but my recommendation to the departments was to leave it out once the commissioners had decided that we would adjust the budgets.
So the 17 you were talking about is without increases?
Yes, yeah. Other than, like, some of the departments that specifically have reasons, Jay requesting on his youth center, his was a little bit higher, but for good reason, so.
The 2018 total was how much? 17 too?
16.
Somewhere between, I thought there was a 22.
16.8.
16.8?
Yep.
Okay.
A little over 16.8, I'm sitting at just a little under 17. I got one more budget to get in, so. Our revenue was 17.5, what we anticipated last year, and I think we're gonna
That's what we
exceed that.
certified.
Yeah, that's what we certified.
Okay.
Yeah, budget was only 16.8, but we certified 17.5, Budget Commission did.
Okay.
So, I've got some numbers in for some of the changes that we did make, OSU extension with the contract, including them, so you'll notice some of the budgets, some of those a little bit higher. I did put FEDC's additional amount in there just because of the last meeting, we changed that. SIDEC, I didn't have the total amount in it because I didn't have it, so I had only put it at the 67 that we've done, so we can change that. Trying to think. Other than that, obviously we gotta put some money in for the Justice Center operations to move it over to the Justice Center fund, but we knew that was coming.
And our budget stabilization, how did we waited and did that at the end of each quarter this year?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably do one at the end of December instead of waiting, that way we have the full amount in, otherwise we would only get 3 payments in if I waited till January.
Oh, sure.
And if we want to put any into our capital projects, obviously if we get this budget done, if there's any of the carryover that you want to put aside for some of those capital projects, I think it'd be good to move by the end of the year too.
Yeah.
So I just wanted a little update. If you had any questions or thoughts, because I'm just used to doing this, so sometimes I don't.
So we won't be in a, if we get a certified number next Tuesday, will we be in a position to approve any budgets next week's meeting?
My goal was the 13th,
The 13th.
so of November to have it approved.
Okay, and we don't need to have any hearings. Is there anybody that we need to have come in to discuss any significant increases or to have any conversations?
That's up to you. That's why I sent all those.
Right.
And they were pretty detailed in their letters and their requests, so
Right,
unless you
they were.
wanted some,
Was there 3? 4?
3 is.
clerk,
I didn't think it was.
Prosecutor?
that had increases in there, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, other than that, everybody's got their budgets pretty much where it was.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Transportation Improvement District, TID.
Yes, we got forwarded to us an Attorney General's opinion stating the Transportation Improvement District, a commissioner cannot be appointed to that position, so we need to remove, I think Shane's our representative for the Transportation Improvement District, so I just wanted to bring it up today so we can start thinking about some recommendations, maybe, at our next board, maybe bring it up.
David, you go to that, somebody from SIEDC goes to that meeting?
Yes.
There was some discussion, I don't remember why we didn't appoint somebody from SIEDC, but there was some discussion when it was formed.
There was? It's been
So-
going fine so
There
far,
was-
in my opinion.
And there was some
The
discussions.
concerns I don't have right now.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, there was discussions of regional planning, because I looked back at stuff after seeing this Attorney
Right.
General's opinion, and CCO must have been a lot of questions going across the state, because they had a update on the opinion in their weekly thing last Friday about regional planning doing it. And at the time, we were in transition with regional planning stuff, so we knew we didn't, I mean, it's by the position, not the person, but we didn't do it. So that was a thought too, so I guess we can, I guess we're not gonna lack to find a way to fill the spot, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I think that it's gonna come down to whether we appoint as a voting member regional planning or TSEP. So if you guys have any thoughts about why you think it's important, either one, please let us know, and
Okay.
we'll
Okay.
sure we'll mull it over in the next couple of weeks and make an appointment, right? Okay. Okay, anything else? Do you need to change the venue for that? Is that important to do?
Oh, you did, is that on here, do we need to?
We don't, it's not on here, but you
Yeah,
had mentioned.
yeah, the
It
agenda.
is?
Yeah.
It's like the second to last one over there.
Oh, yeah, it's on here, so we can.
Second to
we can do
last
it.
one.
Oh, all right. Didn't know it. Let's get it. Any other old business? Let's go ahead and do business now.
New business, just a reminder, we've scheduled a special session. Tomorrow is kind of like a press release, a news conference. Wednesday, October 31st, 2018, that is at 11 o'clock at the Public Safety Building. That is to
Issue one.
bring the elected officials together. So there was other counties in the state, bringing some of their elected officials together. So CCO thought that would be good. We've had a positive feedback from other electeds that will be there at the meeting, just to kind of
Their shoes
state
gonna
our
make,
vision.
their shoes gonna make presentation. Okay.
Yep. So we just wanted to put it as a special meeting since the commissioners obviously will be there. And there's really no decision, but we just put it as a special meeting. We'll record it. So we've got good positive feedback, so people will be there. So we just wanted to remind everybody we were going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow at 11, Public Safety Building. And other new business. I have the resolution approving all supplemental appropriation and appropriation adjustments submitted through the VIP. I have a few, my VIP back up here. I have Child Support Enforcement Fund. They're asking for $75,000 into their contract service line. I have a request from Juvenile Probate Court. They're dividing it in half. They're purchasing some equipment for their new space. The total amount is $4,641.41, divided between the two funds. I have the Board of Elections is requesting, let me see what their description was. They're asking for $3,000 in supplies in anticipation for the election, and they are also asking for $6,000 in contract services due to cybersecurity It was a directive from the state, so they didn't have that in their initial budget, so they're asking for that. I have a request from the sewer district to put $7,000 into their capital improvements. This is for the 23-24 station. And then I have a request from the sheriff's office asking for additional $63,335 in his contract service, repairs, supplies, food and uniforms. This should get him through the rest of the year. He did send a pretty detailed description, because he couldn't be here today, of what these were for, what some of the expenses were for, so. And I think that's all the sub-apps I have. Let's see, then I have a resolution establishing the Lotus Recovery House Fund. This is at the request of Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. Not really detailed on what it's for.
It's for that,
For what?
that, grant that stays, that one that they were calling about the other day, that BJA or BJI.
Oh, they had to create a new fund for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's no additional money, it's just the creating of.
Yeah, they're just creating the fund.
Okay, all right.
I have, maybe I'll pull this one out to the last. Go to the resolution placing Erlin Tallman ditch, Seneca County number 11362, district number 539, on permanent maintenance. And they're here if you had any questions.
Okay, so we'll pull the one out, and I'll accept the motion to approve the rest of the new business items.
So moved.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay, the last item was amending the board orders of October 23rd to hold a public town hall meeting at 5:30 at Scipio Township Maintenance Building. The only difference here is to change the venue. I will make the motion, but for the record, I want to make it absolutely clear that I had no input as to the date, the time, the format, the moderator. No question was ever asked of me if I was available that evening. I just was taken by surprise. This thing was done last week without any input whatsoever. However, rather than hold it up and not allow them to change to a bigger location, I will move that we do that.
So the motion is to move that we adjust the location to the Scipio Township Maintenance Building. And it previously had said Republic Town Hall, I believe. Okay.
Yeah, roll call.
Second.
Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Stacy.
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay, well, before we go into executive session, I think we'll have open forum, so I don't think we'll be back with anything from executive session, so it's time for public comment. Just previous Commissioner Zoller.
Thank you, Commissioner. If I may have a few words, again, I'm Fred Zoller, former county commissioner, president and CEO of Lamb Tech, but here more importantly as a concerned citizen. I understand that the commissioners have established a forum that's going to be, I think it's November 7th, where it's going to discussion of wind energy, and they're going to have a moderator at that session. I have nothing against the moderator, but I believe that the moderator, because regional planning is employed by at will of the commissioners, that it would be better served for this commission to have a total independent person that has no ties with any of the commissioners on that to be the moderator of that forum. So that would be my request, that the commissioners would reconsider a moderator. Again, not that I have anything against the current moderator, but because she is employed by the will of the commissioners, I think it would be best that there would be a total impartial someone that can be agreed upon to be the moderator of this forum.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We don't always agree, but I agree with that.
We disagree more than we agree. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Any other input from the citizens today? Okay, hearing none, I will accept the motion to go into executive session
Purpose
for the
of
purpose of
Purchase property.
property purchase.
property. I'll move that we go into executive session for discussion of property acquisition.
I will second. Roll call it.
Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Erschler.
Yes.